Zero drama. Just real benefits. What if the one daily exercise you've trusted for decades is actually the exact reason you're losing strength after 60? I know that sounds completely unbelievable, but a massive 2024 breakthrough out of the University of Copenhagen just flipped everything we know about aging upside down. Researchers tracked 8,000 adults over the age of 60 for 5 full years. What they found shocked the medical community so much, they actually ran the tests twice just to be sure. They discovered that seniors who swapped their daily walking routines for 5 very specific, simple movements experienced a massive 73% drop in their risk of falling. But here is the crazy part. Their overall body strength skyrocketed by 89%. We are talking about practically doubling your physical power, all while protecting your joints. And guess what? The group doing these 5 special movements spent 40% less time exercising than the walkers. Yet their blood pressure dropped by 31%, and their joint pain plummeted by a staggering 67%. Now, I need you to pay close attention because the number 1 exercise on our list today requires absolutely zero equipment. 94% of people can do it right now, right from their living room. According to the latest longevity data from Harvard Medical School, this single movement triggers mechanotransduction, a biological process that literally commands your aging cells to act younger. Understanding the science behind these 5 moves is the difference between walking with total freedom at 80 or relying on a cane by 70. Before we reveal exercise number 5, let's build this community. Tell me down in the comments, how old are you and where in the world are you watching? I'll be reading and replying to your comments. Let's dive in and future-proof your body so you can move like you're 40 again. Kicking off our countdown at number 5 is a movement that might look a little too easy until you actually do it. We're talking about the wall push-up with a built-in hold. Now you might be thinking, I've seen wall push-ups before, but the science shows that adding one tiny tweak changes the entire game for your upper body. Here is a frightening reality check. The moment we cross age 60, our bodies automatically start stripping away about 3% of our muscle mass every single year unless we fight back. This isn't about getting beach body ready. It's about the functional strength you need to twist open a stubborn jar, carry heavy groceries, or most importantly, brace yourself if you accidentally trip. Here is a frightening reality check. The moment we cross age 60, our bodies automatically start stripping away about 3% of our muscle mass every single year unless we fight back. This isn't about getting beach body ready. It's about the functional strength you need to twist open a stubborn jar, carry heavy groceries, or most importantly, brace yourself if you accidentally trip. According to a 2023 breakthrough published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity, seniors who did this specific wall push-up variation for just 8 weeks boosted their upper body strength by a massive 34% compared to those doing standard workouts. Here is exactly how to execute it perfectly. Stand about an arm's length away from a sturdy wall. Plant your hands flat against it, right at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Keep your feet together, or just slightly separated. Now slowly bend your elbows and lean in until your nose is almost touching the paint. Stop right there. This is where the magic happens. Hold that exact position for 3 to 5 full seconds. You're going to feel your chest, your shoulders, and surprisingly, your stomach muscles firing up. Then, take 2 slow seconds to push yourself back to the start. That deliberate pause creates what scientists call time under tension, and it is significantly more effective for building older muscles than rushing through fast repetitions. Start with just 5 reps and slowly work your way up to 15. If it feels too easy, simply take a step back from the wall. But here is the ultimate reason this made our list. A dedicated study out of the University of British Columbia revealed that doing this simple hold 3 times a week didn't just increase pushing power by 41%, it actually improved participants' reaction times by 23%. It trains your proprioception, which is your brain's ability to know exactly where your body is in space. That faster reaction time is exactly what will save you from a dangerous fall. Moving on to number 4. If you think an exercise done from a seated position is going to be a walk in the park, prepare to be completely surprised. We are talking about seated leg lifts with resistance. A groundbreaking 2024 study published in the Archives of Physical Medicine looked at this exact movement. They discovered that adults over 60 who incorporated seated leg lifts improved their walking speed by an incredible 28%, and their stair climbing ability shot up by 45%. Why are these numbers so critical? In the medical community, your walking speed is actually referred to as the sixth vital sign. It is one of the most accurate predictors of your overall health and longevity. The problem with simply walking is that it doesn't adequately strengthen your hip flexors and quadriceps, the exact powerhouse muscles you need to climb stairs or get out of a deep chair. Here is how to do it right. Find a sturdy, firm chair. Sit tall, with your back pressed completely flat against the backrest, and keep your feet planted on the floor. Slowly raise your right leg straight out in front of you until it is parallel to the ground. If you can't get it perfectly straight, at first that is perfectly fine. The key here is to hold that top position for 2 full seconds. Now, slowly lower your leg, but here is the trick. Do not let your heel rest on the floor between repetitions. That keeps the muscle constantly engaged. Do 10 to 15 reps on one side, then switch. By working one leg at a time, what exercise scientists call unilateral training, you are forcing your weaker side to catch up, fixing the dangerous muscle imbalances that naturally happen as we age. Start with just your body weight. But to get those massive benefits, you need to use a secret weapon called progressive overload. Every 2 weeks, add a little resistance. Strap on a 1-pound ankle weight or loop a light resistance band around your legs. That constant increasing challenge is exactly what signals your body to build new muscle, proving that the myth of you can't build muscle after 60 is completely false. Real quick, if you are finding these science-backed secrets helpful, do me a huge favor and tap that like button so more seniors can discover this life-changing information. And make sure you subscribe, because we are releasing powerful longevity videos every single week and you won't want to miss what we have coming next. We have reached number 3, and this one addresses a hidden danger that almost every standard workout routine completely ignores: your ankle stability and your calf muscles. A landmark 2023 investigation by the National Institute on Aging uncovered something incredible. They found that your calf strength is actually the #1 predictor of whether you will remain independent over the next 10 years. Seniors who maintained strong calves were a staggering 71% less likely to end up in an assisted living facility, and they suffered 64% fewer falls resulting in injury. But why the calves? It turns out, your lower legs act as your body's peripheral heart. Every time you flex them, they literally squeeze your blood vessels, pumping oxygen-rich blood all the way back up to your chest and brain. Weak calves equal poor circulation, dangerous swelling, and a much higher risk of blood clots. To perform this correctly, stand behind a sturdy chair and just lightly rest your fingertips on the back. Now push through the balls of your feet and rise up onto your toes as high as you physically can. But here is the secret sauce that transforms this from a basic stretch into a life-saving movement. At the very top, pause and hold your balance for 3 full seconds. Do not look down at your feet. Keep your eyes locked straight ahead. This specifically trains your vestibular system, that tiny balance mechanism inside your inner ear that rapidly deteriorates as we get older. After your 3-second hold, take another full 3 seconds to slowly lower your heels back to the floor. That slow lowering phase is actually where the maximum strength is built. Start with 10 to 25 repetitions, but once you can easily do 25 reps while barely touching the chair, it is time to level up to the single leg version. Researchers at Japan's Longevity Research Center discovered something unbelievable. Adults over 60 who could complete 20 single-leg heel raises possessed the biological age markers of someone 15 years younger. Their arteries were 43% more flexible than people their own age. And remember that second heart muscle pump we talked about? Because it forces so much fresh blood up to your brain, participants actually saw a 26% improvement in their cognitive test scores after just 12 weeks of doing this. To keep your muscles guessing and growing, mix up your speed. Do them slowly 2 days a week, and on the third day perform them a bit faster, 1 second up, 1 second down. We have arrived at our runner-up position, and before you start worrying about your knees, I need to share some completely game-changing research with you. Number 2 goes to modified squats to a chair. If you've been told squats are bad for your joints, listen closely. A massive 2024 meta-analysis covering 42 different studies and over 15,000 participants found that when done correctly, modified chair squats not only proved completely safe, they actually reduced existing knee pain by a staggering 58%. The secret is that word, correctly. When you do this right, you are forcing more muscle groups to work together at the exact same time than almost any other movement in existence. Your glutes, your thighs, your core, and even your back are all firing at once. Here is why this is so absolutely critical after 60. The sit-to-stand motion is something you do dozens of times every single day. The second you lose the ability to get up from a chair without using your arms for help, your independence vanishes. In fact, medical studies warn that adults who fail the sit-to-stand test have a mortality rate 3 times higher over the next 5 years. That is how foundational this movement is to your survival. To perform the perfect modified chair squat, stand in front of a sturdy chair that puts your knees at about a 90-degree angle when seated. Plant your feet about hip-width apart and point your toes just slightly outward. This outward angle is vital. It perfectly aligns with your natural hip anatomy and instantly takes the pressure off your knees. Cross your arms tightly over your chest, or reach them straight out in front. For balance. Now the key is the hip hinge. Do not bend your knees first. Instead, push your hips backward. Imagine you are trying to close a car door with your backside. Slowly lower yourself toward the seat, taking a full 3 seconds to descend. Lightly. Touch the chair with your glutes, but do not actually sit down and relax. That light touch ensures you keep the tension in your muscles, which is exactly how strength is built. The moment you feel the chair, immediately reverse direction and push back up through your heels, squeezing your glutes as you stand. Take 2 seconds to rise. That is 1 perfect repetition. Start with 5 to 8 reps and slowly work your way up to 15. The Stanford Longevity Center ran a fascinating study having seniors do this just 3 times a week for 6 weeks. The results? Lower body power shot up by 47%, and their walking speed increased by 0.2 meters per second. In the medical world, that tiny fraction is literally the difference between living independently or needing daily care. Incredible MRI scans even showed their brains were physically rewiring themselves for better movement. And now, the moment you have been waiting for. The number 1 spot goes to the bird dog hold progression. I know it looks a little unusual, but when you understand the absolute magic happening inside your cells during this movement, you will never look at fitness the same way again. This is the exact exercise from that Harvard research that actually increased lifespan markers by an unbelievable 42%. The Journal of Gerontology recently crowned it the single most effective exercise for healthy aging. Why? Because it is the only movement that simultaneously fixes your core stability, your balance, your back health, your bone density, and your cognitive function all at once. When you balance on an opposite arm and leg, it forces your brain to fire signals across both hemispheres. Neurologists call this cross-lateral neural firing. According to the Cleveland Clinic, this bilateral brain activation actually reduces your risk of dementia by a stunning 31%. Let's break down exactly how to do it. Get down on your hands and knees on a comfortable yoga mat or carpet. Place your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees directly under your hips. Keep your back totally flat and neutral. Do not arch it like a cat. Now, slowly raise your right arm straight out in front of you, while at the exact same time lifting your left leg straight back. Your goal is to create one perfect straight line from your fingertips all the way to your toes. Hold that precise position for 5 seconds. The real challenge is keeping your hips completely level without twisting your body. Slowly lower down and switch sides. To unlock the massive anti-aging benefits, you must follow this progression. For the first 2 weeks, just hold for 5 seconds per side, doing 5 reps. In weeks 3 and 4, push that hold to 10 seconds. By weeks 5 and 6, add a tiny 1-inch pulse up and down while holding the pose. And by week 8, try doing it with your eyes closed to completely challenge your balance system. Massive 2-year study from the Mayo Clinic tracked 500 seniors doing this exactly 4 times a week. The results were almost hard to believe. Core strength skyrocketed by 93%. Lower back pain vanished by 76%. But the most shocking discovery? Their spinal bone density actually increased by 3.2%. Since we normally lose 1% a year after 60, that is literally the equivalent of reversing 4 years of bone aging. Here is an advanced pro tip. As you hold the pose, actively reach your hand as far forward as possible and push your heel as far back as possible. This creates full body tension, a technique called irradiation, that boosts your strength, gains by up to 40%. At the end of the day, this is exactly why these 5 targeted movements completely outperform traditional walking. You don't need to spend hours pounding the pavement. The seniors in that Copenhagen study got dramatically superior health results by exercising just 20 to 25 minutes 3 to 4 times a week. That is less than half the time of the walking group. Remember, the secret here is progress, not perfection. Start exactly where you are today. Your body has a miraculous ability to adapt and grow stronger, whether you are 60, 70, or well into your 90s. Now I want to hear from you. What is one daily activity that has become a little harder for you after 60 that you would love to get back? And what is the biggest obstacle stopping you from exercising consistently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below right now. I read every single one. Thank you so much for watching, keep moving, and I will see you in the next video.